And we're live. Welcome to the Lakers Late Night Podcast. It is actually late at night. It is 11 o'clock out here Pacific time. Tom's in like Russia or something like that. So I think it's like 4 a.m. out there.
Yes. Yes. Kansas is actually in very close proximity to Russia.
We had so much fun with Tom in this afternoon's free agency preview podcast that I just said, let's screw it. I'm done with Harrison. I'm bringing Tom in, and he's my new co-host for the night. Tom, free agency happened, and
it is currently happening all around us.
I was kind of thinking about this while I was putting the show together, and the Lakers have spent years of planning and hoping and going through terrible NBA seasons to maintain the flexibility that you absolutely need to go after major free agent pieces, and it all results with TIMOFEY Mozgov. Soak it in, Lakers fans. This is what life is all about.
This is a crowning achievement that we will remember for the rest of our days.
One small step for the Lakers free agency organization. All right, so I guess we'll just kind of go in and start analyzing it right away. And I can't find any angle upon which that this actually makes sense, right? Like, even if, it's become in vogue and everybody keeps saying how get ready for crazy free agency, contracts and that everybody's value is going to continue to rise because the cap did. But under no circumstance is TIMOFEY Mozgov worth $48 million under the last cap, and that's how this works out. Have you been able to find a single reason why this would make any sense?
No.
All right, that's the show.
But no, it doesn't make sense on any level. If you just look at the fact that he was the first person they called, that's the first thing we heard. And like, hey, the Lakers are talking TIMOFEY Mozgov. They're pretty serious. Everyone was just like, really? What? Like, why? That's the first guy you're going to go after. That's the first guy you're going to at least approach to see if he's interested. So it sounds like they decided really quickly that was the guy they wanted to be their center. And that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I mean, he's going to be 30 years old in 2 weeks. He was fine. He's a fine. Like he can do pick and rolls. He can defend a little bit. But he was struggling to even make the rotation on his team in the playoffs. Like, they didn't play him down the stretch. He wasn't a contributing part of them winning a championship. It's not like a whole lot of teams are going to be clamoring for him either. Like, even if you're interested in TIMOFEY Mozgov and you want to see where your other options are, is any other front office going to swoop in and take him off your hands? No, it wouldn't happen. So it doesn't make sense on a multitude of levels. It doesn't make sense that they gave him 4 years.
Yeah. And we're still waiting to find out if there are player options and team options and whatever involved. But 4 years for a 30-year-old center who, like you said, couldn't get on the floor in the playoffs. He played 76 total minutes in the playoffs this year. 76. That's 76 more than you and I, Tom.
Like, even if you figured out that that's the amount of money you're willing to spend on a center and you just want to lock someone up, wouldn't you at least approach Bismack Biyombo or Festus Ezeli and say, hey, this is what we're willing to give Mozgov. Are you interested? And like, nothing. It's just like, nope, we're calling Mozgov. We're locking this up right now. And there's nothing about Mozgov as a player that suggests you should want to do that.
Did you watch Woj's?
I did.
You were watching the thing. First off, congratulations to Adrian Wojnarowski. That was phenomenal. His draft coverage was phenomenal. We as the viewer, or we as the consumer of the NBA, are the overall winners tonight, because we are now blessed with that. The second winner shortly after us is TIMOFEY Mozgov and his family and the generations that will benefit from the $64 million that the Lakers will be giving him. But what I was going to say about Woj was that he was making it sound as if there were other teams involved and the Lakers were concerned that they were going to, get swooped in on for TIMOFEY Mozgov. And just think about that sentence. The Lakers were
No.
the Lakers
There's
were
no
considered.
way.
Yeah, and even if they get swooped in on, like even if some team swoops in and says, "All right, we're offering $64 million to Mozgov," you say, "All right, cool, just move
No.
on."
All that means is that the Lakers got played by Mozgov's agent. That's all it means.
Yes.
Is that he convinced them that there were other serious suitors and that they had to move right away and lock him down. It's ridiculous.
Right. And considering the other free agent options on the market, right? You had, Whiteside, obviously, who we talked about earlier. You've already mentioned Biombo. Matt Moore from Hardwood Paroxysm said that Mozgov ranked 15th on his list of centers, not 15th on his list. Yeah. And who was it that I saw?
Just the ones that are free agents.
Yeah. Somebody else tweeted out, a graph tonight about how there it is, Ben Golliver, by offensive real plus minus. The Lakers upgraded from Roy Hibbert, who was 76th out of 76 centers last year, to Mozgov, who was 75th. So in that sense,
moving on up.
Mission accomplished. Like,
small amount of breaking news. It looks like DeMar DeRozan, not surprisingly, is re-signing with the Toronto Raptors. So cross that one off your board if you were still hoping the Lakers are going to get a good wing. Still a couple left, but
yeah, I mean that was like you said, that was the odds-on favorite to how that scenario was going to play out. And honestly, I mean he's a good NBA player, but the Lakers apparently with this signing of Timofey Mozgov aren't interested in those. The other thing that kind of struck me, unless you have more to add about this, about the Mozgov signing, and I mean the issue here is that, I mean that's that much less flexibility that they have to work with, not only this year, but like I would much rather if the Lakers started Tarek Black next year and rolled over the cap room to next year, because at least Black matches the window of opportunity for all these kids. By the time his contract is over, Mozgov, I mean, he's already a corpse. He'll be King Tut by the time the contract is over.
It seems like this is probably going to go down as like a deal that might be worse than the Omer Sheik deal, and that was really bad.
Right.
I don't get it, and I don't understand why they felt the need to go to this quickly in this big of a way. It doesn't make any sense at all to me.
Well, it's reminiscent, in my opinion, of the Kobe Bryant deal, the last 2-year $48 million deal, where the Lakers made it this crazy priority to get him re-signed, and on top of that, they were negotiating against themselves. And it doesn't seem like the Lakers. I mean, they could have reportedly been negotiating against other teams, but really, who's negotiating for Timofey Mozgov at $60+ million over 4 years?
Well, Mozgov has just had such a great career that the Lakers felt he needed to be rewarded for it. I think I saw. Champion. Yeah, I think I saw he's made like $24 million so far in this year. He's going to make $16 million next year, and then that again for the next 3 years after that. It's like,
well, and see, I get this again. 4 years market price for Mozgov. It's not. It really isn't. Like, no. It's like if I won the lottery and I became a billionaire all of a sudden, I wouldn't go out and spend all my money on sand in the damn desert. Like that's not a smart investment, right? Technically, land is always valuable, but that's not how you invest your money. And in this case, this makes no sense. Now, again, we could find out that there's a bunch of unguaranteed money, or that there is this is a 2-year thing, that the team has a 2-year team option after the second year, but it's really hard.
But real quick on that, I feel like if that was the case, a team official would have come forward by now and be like, "Hey, whoa, listen, we're not that crazy."
Yeah,
we're like, I don't get, and I've been wavering for a while on the front office and their capabilities, and I know a lot of people disagree with me on that, especially in Lakers Twitter, but I just don't feel like they've made good personnel decisions in a long time outside the draft. They've been doing a good job of the draft, and I'm glad they finally got rid of Byron Scott, and I'm very glad they brought in Luke Walton. He seems like a promising head coach. But like, there's nothing that suggests that this front office knows what it's doing with regards to free agency and trades, and I don't know. I'm not very high on them right now.
Well, to that point, right? The sentiment, especially in the hour or so leading up until free agency actually began, was look, they got rid of Byron, they got Brennan Ingram, they already won their offseason. You know how you don't win your offseason?
The rest is gravy.
Yeah, you know how you don't win your offseason? Giving
Signing Timofey Mozgov for $64 million.
That's a good
Is
way
that
to renege on all that goodwill. That's a great way.
Like, I will calm down a good deal if they're able to sign Batum or Parsons. We talked about this on the podcast earlier today. I'd be all for that. I'm all for giving either of them a max deal. I think that would be a worthwhile addition to the team. And my argument earlier today was just like, don't be picky. Go out and get really good players if you can get them for whatever you have to give them. Timofey Mozgov is not that. He's not.
He's not a good basketball player.
He's an okay, really big dude that does some things well that couldn't see the floor at the end of the year for his team.
Well,
and he's turning 30.
And then, so we get this comment. This is from @nbutnet, Lakers, I guess is what his I hope that's how he pronounces it. But guys, if you compare Mozgov's 64 to injury-prone Noah's 70, isn't it in context again? No, because one, Noah's contract is also stupid, and two,
it is
because at least at one point in his life, Joakim Noah was good at basketball.
3 years ago, Joakim Noah won Defensive Player of the Year,
and was an MVP.
Like he was really bad this year. It's still a really crappy contract, but at least you can point to that and say, the Knicks can at least make a pitch to their fans of like, hey, look, we're trying to build a team here. We got Derrick Rose, we got Joakim Noah. We're going to try and add another big name this offseason. And the Lakers are like, Timofey Mozgov?
Well, and even then, right? So the point that you're making, the Knicks say to their fans, look, we have a really limited window here. We're hoping Rose holds up for a season. We're hoping Melo holds up for another season or two. If Noah stays healthy for another season, then we have a legitimate window to at least make a little bit of noise in the playoffs. But the Lakers, on the other hand, their window is exponentially longer. There is the reasoning behind it. If they're saying, hey, we're hoping to just take advantage of this window, one, Mozgov doesn't help you in that respect. And two, that just flat out isn't the case with the Lakers. So like we said, and we've rambled a bit on this point, but it's impossible to defend this contract. And if your defense is, well, it could be worse, those kinds of that reasoning is terrible. Well, they could have done worse. No.
I think this will end up being a really horrible contract. Maybe I'm wrong. But what really doesn't make sense is the timing of it, the way that they decided this is our guy we're going after and we're locking him up. I don't know what they're seeing to make them think that. And again, 4 years, unless there's a team option we're not sure about, it doesn't make any sense. If there's an argument, like if we're doing grades, I'm just going to tell you right now for this offseason, I'm sure we'll have a roundtable about it. I don't even see an argument at the moment for giving it anything other than an F. Minus. That's why I tweeted out earlier. I said F minus. In reality, that's not really a real grade, so I'll just say F. But like what? I don't get it.
My cat wants to chime in. Apparently,
the cat freaking hates Timofey Mozgov. She's angry.
She is pissed.
But
it's okay, Oreo. Hang in there, buddy.
All that said, I'm down for the Lakers having a new role guy and a guy that can play defense. To the simplest level, that's why I was advocating for playing Tariq Blackmore. He can do those. But so the Lakers have another guy like that. That's good. The Lakers improved their team by a little bit tonight, but it was really dumb.
Yes, I agree. I agree completely. And they overspent, and there goes a bunch of cap space for the years to come.
I'm sure I'll end up liking him. He seems like a cool dude. He might be fun.
That's what everybody who's covered him, both from people in Denver and then Ryan Morton mentioned it to me in passing that he's a really good guy. So the other thing too is with any signing or player that I don't like, I don't know if you hold the same stance that I do, but if I really dislike something, a signing, a prospect, a trade, whatever. I hope that I wind up being wrong, because all that means is either there's a better player, there's a player in the NBA who is better than I thought they would be, or that if we wind up being completely wrong about Mozgov, then the Lakers have a really good contract that they have control over for the next 4 years. So that's all great. The other thing that kind of struck me, and we'll kind of move on this quickly. Don't want to hold too many people up from the craziness that's going on Twitter right now, but at no point in free agency were the Lakers tied to Timofey Mozgov, right? There were no reports that they were interested in him that I saw, and I pay pretty close attention to this stuff. I didn't see anything like that. The reports of their interest in X, Y, or Z free agent didn't come to fruition, at least to this point right now. And what I guess I keep coming back to is the Lakers don't leak. Also, why aren't they doing sensical things? So it's a two-part thing.
Like even small things like this just now from Ramona Shelburne. Lakers were not among the teams who reached out to Al Horford in the first few hours of free agency, although they do have interest.
Okay.
They're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, right.
If you have interest in Al Horford, call him, call his agent, text him, say, hey, like you want to talk? Are you interested in discussing? We have a contract offer for you. Well, it's no, hold on, we got to get this Mozgov thing done. Number one priority right now.
And I think I saw a tweet also from Shelburne today that they didn't have any meetings scheduled for tomorrow, in-person meetings scheduled for tomorrow. What? What are they doing? Yeah, we have brunch scheduled. We're taking the kids to Disneyland.
We would, but it's just a really busy day tomorrow. Boy.
We're sending out typo-ridden plugs about our brand new facility and everything that look great. We're really busy, guys. I don't know what else you would expect us to do right now.
Timofey Mozgov is going to look fantastic in that brand new Lakers facility. Just you wait.
hang that jersey up in the rafters right now. All right, so that was the other second small point. The final point, or the final question I have here is, what do the Lakers do next? Right, they have shown, I guess, reported interest in Nicholas Batum. Apparently.
Don't say it. Don't say the one I know you're going to ask me about. Just don't do it.
I have to, and there are already people tweeting it at me right now. The Lakers have also shown interest in Evan Turner. I don't know what the hell is going on right now. I have no idea. No clue. Now, to the point that I just made, we never hear about these. These things rarely come to fruition when they're reported beforehand. The Lakers almost never leak anything. But as it stands right now, I have no idea what the Lakers are doing.
Evan Turner is not a good basketball player. I do not enjoy watching him play. I do not enjoy watching him attempt to score. I do not enjoy anything about him, really. And this is terrifying to me that it seems like the first two names they reached out to in free agency were Timofey Mozgov, who, again, we just went over why that shouldn't have been the case, and Evan Turner. Celtics fans are begging you to take Evan Turner off their hands. Mm-hmm. And if he goes to the Lakers, they will be ecstatic.
Right.
That would be a dream scenario for Celtics fans, and that should tell you all you need to know about that.
Right. I'm afraid to go to sleep tonight because I'm afraid I'll wake up to that kind of news in the morning.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, Lakers fans. I would love to have been more optimistic about what's going on tonight. Tom's never sorry.
I give no apologies.
I would have loved. I hope we were still entertaining, and I hope we can continue to be entertaining as the off season and summer league comes to pass. But as of right now, it is not off to a very auspicious start here in Lakerland, and we can only hope that it improves. I don't really have much else to add. There are still beers to be drank in my refrigerator.
Mini beers.
They're being called Mozgovs tonight. I have a few Mozgovs down.
Celebratory drinks, right?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I drink celebratory vodka if I had it in my pantry, but we were fresh out.
Of course.
Thank you very much for joining us twice today. You complained about not being on the podcast enough, so I said we're putting you on as much as you could possibly handle.
I answered the call.
That was great. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This was by far a record night for views.
Was it really? What did we get? What did we get?
We were up well 100. We were 400 views tonight live. So
all right.
That was well done. So
thank you, people.
And apparently Harrison says that the post for the show has about 3,000 clicks. So get them clicks though.
get them clicks.
We'll talk to everybody soon.
Bye.